Dr. Yoni Whitten here, and this week we're going over my top 5 nutrients for putting an end to chronic pain. Let's get into this. We're going to kick this list off with a few exotic substances that you've probably never heard of, but keep an open mind here because if you struggle with chronic pain or chronic inflammation, these are nutrients that you definitely need to know about. Nutrient number 1 is Honokiol, and this is an extract that comes from a Japanese magnolia with some truly amazing benefits that pertain directly to pain and inflammation. And although we're just starting to hear about Honokiol here in the West, this substance has been used for medicinal purposes throughout Asia for over 2,000 years. Studies on Honokiol consistently demonstrate a vast array of benefits ranging from improved sleep quality to its powerful anti-inflammatory effects and, of course, increased pain threshold and reduced pain sensitivity. So take, for example, this study published in 2018 in the journal Frontiers in Pharmacology. These researchers tested the effects of Honokiol using 5 completely different pain models, and they demonstrated that with chronic inflammatory pain, Honokiol has the ability to, quote, remarkably reduce pain response, end quote. It also showed an ability to decrease nerve pain, while at the same time increasing subjects' ability to deal with uncomfortable pressure, uncomfortable heat, and uncomfortable cold. So it's actually increasing pain thresholds and making subjects more resilient. Honokiol also showed an ability to decrease swelling associated with acute injury, and blood tests demonstrated conclusively that it decreases production of nitric oxide and pro-inflammatory cytokines that are associated with the inflammatory response. The overall conclusion was that Honokiol has significant anti-inflammatory and anti-nociceptive anti-pain effects that are applicable for both acute and chronic pain models. Nutrient number 2 is French Maritime pine bark extract. Now that's quite a mouthful, but what we're talking about here is an extract that comes from the bark of a French Maritime pine tree. And this substance has been shown to be particularly beneficial for people struggling with degenerative joint disease. Multiple studies done on people with osteoarthritis have demonstrated that French Maritime pine bark extract can significantly lower pain levels, significantly reduce joint stiffness, while at the same time improving joint mobility and functionality. This literature review from 2018, published in the Journal of Medicinal Food, stated that French Maritime pine bark extract has antioxidative, anti-inflammatory, and chondroprotective benefits, meaning that it can actually inhibit the enzymes that are responsible for the cartilage destruction that takes place during osteoarthritis. So it actually preserves the health of your joints long term. These researchers also state that active metabolites of French Maritime pine bark extract can be detected in the bloodstream for at least 14 hours following consumption. So this substance is ideally suited for providing long-lasting relief for people with osteoarthritis. Nutrient number 3 is ApresFlex, and you can think of this substance as Boswellia serrata on steroids. Essentially what we're dealing with here is a super concentrate that's made by combining the extract of Boswellia serrata with Boswellia serrata non-volatile oil and something called AKBA, which is the most powerful of the 4 boswellic acids. Now these 3 substances work synergistically with one another to enhance the overall effect that it has inside of the body. And like French Maritime pine bark extract, ApresFlex has shown some incredible benefits for people with osteoarthritis. With that, I'd like to direct your attention to this brand new study published in February of 2023 in the Journal of the American Nutrition Association. These researchers conducted a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial to determine the effects of ApresFlex on osteoarthritis of the knee. So essentially, they took a bunch of people with osteoarthritis and they split them up into 2 groups. Half the people received a placebo, and the other half received 100 milligrams of ApresFlex per day. All of the subjects were assessed at the beginning of the study in terms of pain levels, functionality, and joint stiffness, and then they were assessed after 30 days. And what these researchers found was that in the group that was taking ApresFlex, there was a significant reduction in pro-inflammatory biomarkers and the enzymes that are responsible for joint destruction with osteoarthritis. They also found significant reductions in joint stiffness, 66%, and over a 40% reduction in pain in just 30 days. Other studies on ApresFlex that have gone longer to the 90-day mark have demonstrated nearly a 70% reduction in the pain associated with osteoarthritis of the knee. Nutrient number 4 is undenatured type 2 collagen, and it's important that we differentiate this substance from the hydrolyzed collagen that you find in most supplements being sold nowadays. And what's special about undenatured type 2 collagen is that it retains its natural three-dimensional structure as it passes through your digestive tract. And so when it interacts with your gut microbiome, it has the shape that's needed to activate your immune system and trigger the release of a bunch of different bioactive compounds that signal your body to begin repairing and rebuilding damaged tissue. Now, there's no shortage of studies out there touting the amazing benefits of undenatured type 2 collagen. Several studies have even demonstrated that the pain-killing and anti-inflammatory effects of this substance are on par or better than non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs with none of the unwanted side effects. But I want to draw your attention to a randomized controlled clinical trial that was just published by a group of Japanese researchers in March of 2023. These researchers were interested in determining the effect that 12 weeks of supplementing with undenatured type 2 collagen would have on joint health, pain levels, and functionality. So they took a group of healthy volunteers aged 20 to 75 years old and they split them up into two groups. Group number 1 received a small dose of undenatured type 2 collagen each day, and group number 2 received a placebo. At the end of 12 weeks, these researchers found that the group that was taking undenatured type 2 collagen had better joint mobility, they had less pain in their knees and their lower back, and they performed significantly better on tests of walking and stair climbing. The fifth and final nutrient is my personal favorite, and that is Palmitoylethanolamide, or PEA for short. Now, this substance is classified as an endocannabinoid, and it's naturally occurring in foods like egg yolks, peanuts, and soybeans. And it's such a tragedy that most pain sufferers have never heard of PEA, despite the fact that it's been around since the 1940s. It's been widely used in both analgesic and anti-inflammatory compounds, as well as cold and flu remedies, and there's a bunch of impressive research out there on it. One of the most impressive studies I've ever seen on PEA was published in the journal Pain Medicine. And in this study, researchers took over 600 people who were unable to effectively control their chronic pain using conventional treatments, and they put them on a heavy dose of PEA for 3 weeks, followed by a maintenance dose of PEA for the next 4 weeks. Now, these people's pain was coming from a bunch of different things, ranging from radiculopathy to osteoarthritis to post-herpetic neuralgia and diabetic neuropathy, and even things like failed back surgery syndrome and cancer pain conditions that are extraordinarily difficult to deal with. And what they found was that after 7 weeks of PEA supplementation, these people's pain levels were reduced by an average of 60% across the board. Just take a look at these before and afters. So there you have it. I think it's easy to see why these particular nutrients are my top 5 picks for all natural pain relief. Now, I do want to point out that all 5 of these nutrients plus 5 more are available in full therapeutic doses in my all-new Movement Essentials Joint Relief. To pick up your bottle of Joint Relief, click the link in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. I'll also put a link for it in the description down below. Beyond that, I just want to thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button before you head out of here, and I'll see you next time.